Call the spaceships to Davenport. Prepare for divanarchy and interface with a couch in space. It is amazing to be back with you here on Space Couch. It's just, it makes me happy, and we've got a little bit. Oh, I think Alpha Centauri's light is bleeding through in the back. We'll do a little bit of that for. Oh yeah, there we go. Little mood lighting here because we need to go a little hard for this one. Just in the pre-show yakking I sometimes do with the guest. We may or may not be dropping some bombs on this episode of Space Couch. News bombs because we're not a military vessel. It's an exploration mission, like Star Trek, even though all they did was blow stuff up. Let's get into advertising. We love our advertisers so much, and we'll get into that in a second. But I do want to thank you at home. I don't do that enough. I don't feel like. Thanks for watching. I know you have a lot of options. There's Void Signal and Sounds and Shadows, but if you want to go with the original, you go with Static TV. But if they're not available, you check out Space Couch, and I appreciate that. And I also appreciate our advertisers new this week. It's Tiger Squawk Records is sponsoring this show. You want to check out Same Story's new offering, Lamentations. It's amazing. You want to check out Eternus Memoria, 84 tracks to benefit cancer research. Isserly's new one, Sad Girls Club Volume 6. Can you believe it? Our new thing, Duality, Amalgamated Cadaver. That's me and Definitely Being Noisy. The Graupner Dichotomy with new signing Bounty comes out shortly. Grasp Logic Dark Romance. It's amazing. Who would have thunk it? Grasp Logic's Echo Bot also out. Michael's been on fire lately. Batavia and their friends forever non-stop with those guys. Blackness makes Blackness is the album. I fucked that up. Light Rays the band, but that's their view. Church of Bryantology, that's me. Volume 2. It's my life as covered by Norway's Industrial. Pill Brigade. 3 new singles off of Mechanisms. We'll get into that shortly. You want to check all that out. Big ups to our patrons, thanks to Gozer Games, the best in gaming accessories for 20 years. Jellywhat at jellywhat.com. My friend from high school, Pat at Lured by Radium. Dominic Pietro, nonstop supporter of the Grim Life of Hacking / Patreon.com, Hack the Reaper. Bramley, love you. Ray out of Providence, Fly Ahead out of Baton Rouge. Walter Magoon, Leather in Any Weather. Hunt and Hawk for the Ditch. And Glitch. That rhymes. I just realized that that's really fun. You can contribute to that and throw off our new rhyming scheme we just discovered by getting your name in the credits. Patreon.com/Godsicles. You guys, I am so excited. I'm very excited because MTV TV's DJ D42 is in the chat room, and that just, fills my heart with static joy. Dynamic joy and stochastic joy as well, but mostly static joy. Mostly? What am I talking about? I'm just so excited for today's guest. We're just going to get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. I'm not even sure which name to use. We'll go with the one on the screen. Mary. I screwed up. I'm sorry. Hold on, Mary. Mary Catman. Oh my gosh, Space Couch below. Thank you. We have Space Couch in stereo today. Oh, that's the greatest. You can get your Space Couch pillow at Zazzle, zazzle.com/gothsicles. Mary, what's up? Thanks for coming back out into space.
I am so happy to be back. This is the OG to me. One of my first interviews ever, video, and gave me a chance. And I'm like, you know what? Now that I'm rich and famous, I'm like, I got to get back with Brian.
Yeah, throwing back to us little people out here in space. You were OG nothing on this end. You were the third guest we've ever had on Space Couch. Now back for episode 147. I don't think really anything's happened in the last 3 years. Nothing really. No, I'm kidding. It's been just a deluge, a torrent. We when I'm on Earth, there don't live physically that far apart as the crow flies, but we have a ton of stuff to catch up on because you've been going just nonstop, as is your want. But we'll find out. Let's start with, because it just came out. Is it really that bad? I'll call it a single, 2 tracks, 2 incredible remixes. Tell us about Is It Really That Bad?
Well, Is It Really That Bad is my first release on KATTMAN International.
Hell yeah.
And we were like, let's start with an EP. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. It's a little bit different than some of my other stuff. I was able to just put, like you said, two original songs, 2 remixes, 2 amazing remixes by just some of the best of the best that was so honored to have. So Roderzand and Neurotic Fish.
Hell yeah.
And it was cool. The EP came at like a really good time for me. Like I was just going through some stuff, and I was like, the best thing in life is that when you're a musician, you get to take really difficult experiences and kind of almost change them into good by putting
wow.
And I feel like that EP was just like such a release for me in many ways. And I just felt like it was awesome. Like it was, again, me at it on my own. This time I did something a little different, as I added an actual live musical component to it. That was Mike Jenny on the drums.
Hey, love Mike Jenny.
Mike Jenny of Live Assemblage 23,
hell yeah.
Of Walter Derun, of Ed Flesh.
He's been in the Gossicles a couple times, yeah.
Best guy ever. Just
super great.
Nice. So it was cool to have him on drums, and he was like, I'll do it. I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's take a listen to this is just the title track, but you get another baller track and remixes from 2 up and coming artists. Maybe they'll go somewhere. Neurotic Fish and Roderzand. I'm kidding. They're incredible. That was Is It Really That Bad? That's amazing to me because a lot of times as artists, and I'll go so far as to say even industrial artists, we sort of almost bank on that sadness, like it's currency. Like this, for me anyway, like if I have like something tragic or something going through, like there's almost a silver lining of at least I can mine this for lyrics, like that darkness. So for you to take what could potentially be a boon and turn it on its head and make a song out of that, like, is it really that bad? And perhaps I'm injecting my own shit into it, but that sounds like an amazing way to approach a song title.
Yeah, honestly, I do, like, I always had this kind of like thought process, which is strange. And I'm like, when you're a musician or like an artist, are you like doomed to always have bad things? Like,
right.
Or it's like what is like things that are negative, like, are they really all that negative? Like, I feel like it's kind of like our duty as artists or musicians to kind of like I always feel like we're like alchemists. So we take like when you take like something and turn it to gold or something, you're like transmutating something. So you're taking like a negative feeling and you're like making it
amazing
something. And we're like, it's like, this really sucked, but now it makes people shake their ass. Like, I'm so
That's crazy, because it's like, oftentimes if what's up to Void Signal? Hey, like if you ever hear an interview and like it turns out this song that I means so much to me, like, was inspired because a guy, whatever, got in his argument with his dad about like an episode of Friends or some shit, and like this is the weirdest points or some origin stories of songs. But I found, that transmutation is a powerful way to think about it. Plus, I like to call myself an alchemist now.
I like that. I know that's
it
very
just
much.
makes
No,
me
you're
feel
right,
like a
man.
badass. Well, but this is the alchemy of you. I will also go so far as to say, not only do you turn lead into gold, but plutonium into radium and strontium 90 into carbon and all sorts of transmutations because you just don't stop. That is, of course, we've both since been married since I started this show. How about that? You are now married to somebody, but you perform under the name Mary KATTMAN still. Is that?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
I think the reason I stuck with it was just because I just have so much work under that name. I've been doing music since 2012, so I've been doing music since much earlier than that. But in 2012, I feel like I've told the story a million times, so forgive me. But I used to kind of like rely on other people to record me. I used to rely on other people to help me like with music stuff. And then in 2012, I was like, no, like I'm going to do this all for myself. So I
Hell
started
yeah.
kind of like building a portfolio of work, of vocal work.
Uh-huh.
And then it just sort of built over time. And so I held on to that name. And it's been just kind of the name that's kept with me.
Yeah, it's a good name.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Mary Shear is wonderful just in terms of resonance in my ears, but KATTMAN's a very strong performer name. Speaking of that, so is it really that bad going to be on an upcoming like EP under the KATTMAN name? Like, what's the plan there?
Well, Is It Really That Bad is out.
That's it, but like that song's not going on like anything else, like an upcoming album or anything.
It might. I'm not sure. It might just be like something that we bring in because there's another EP that's coming out pretty soon-ish. So
cool.
My solo name and solo work, and it's called Fever Shakes, and it's another EP. It's going to be 2 original songs again, and then 2 remixes. So I've got a remix coming from Assemblage 23, and I have a remix from Interface.
Oh, I love it.
I know, Eric. Yes.
Hey, oh man. East Coast is all get out up in here.
I am all about the East Coast. I am so proud of everybody.
It's great.
I'm not always there to congratulate everyone because I'm so busy, but I literally watch everybody like from a distance, and I'm just like, these people are amazing.
It's right. Like I'm right there, yourself included. Like and no false modesty, but it's wild to be just talking about whatever superhero movie just came out, and then like your friends on stage and you're weeping your eyes out because this crazy whiplash of respect and approachability. But it's really wonderful, I think, here in what I'll call the New England scene. Even though I think New York is its own thing, so I'll just that's where Eric from Interface is. I'm babbling a little bit. Is that going to be on KOP?
That'll be out on KOP as well. I'm letting the remixers kind of just take their time, and then afterwards we're going to do like plan a release date, but it should be within the next month or so.
Oh, wow.
I'm super happy about it. Like it came out really cool. Like on this EP, you're going to hear something a little bit different. There's like an EBM-y type track that's kind of hard. And then there's another style that I'm just kind of playing in. It's like a witch housey type track. And it's really cool and lots of reverby vocals. And it's kind of like, I don't know, like I'm a huge like fan of like wave music, and I'm a huge fan of like trap and like hip hop percussion. And I love playing in that. And I think sometimes the scene, like, and this is not to be an offensive thing, but I think sometimes the scene gets a little homogenized in sound.
Sure. Totally.
And sometimes I like to add something different. Like, you know what I mean? Like I want to just kind of expose the listener to like some different type of style that maybe they don't hear all the time.
Awesome.
And so I like to pull from both. Like I know the audience, like as a person who makes music to make people happy, that always kind of plays into my mind. Like, how can I make the listener happy? But how can I also like introduce something unique and different and maybe showcase some of the things that inspire me the most. So I kind of try to do a half and half thing most of the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think I've seen it, and where it's like the DJ stops playing and then the band starts, and in my mind I'm going, I can't tell the fucking difference. Like who, like why even, like it's the same. It's so one note. And don't get me wrong, I am a dyed in the wool, four in the floor industrial motherfucker. But like there's leeway even in that world to homogenize or not. But I've also seen the show where it's so out of left field. It's like, this is great, but I don't know why we're doing this now in this live space. So if you can thread that industrial needle, which I've seen you do 1,000 times, let's talk about your work. Unless you were done there, we want to check out Fever Shakes coming up within a month probably on Cop International from Mary Kaplan. Remixes by Interface and some dude to whom you may or may not be married. Name assemblage 23, friend of the show, all around wonderful person. To say nothing of also a friend of the show, Eric, even though he's never been on.
You should.
I don't really like him. I'm kidding! He's only been like amazingly wonderful to me for 30 years. I want to get into it. I know we talked about this, I think, prior, but Helix. I just saw you guys crush at the amazing Mechanismus Festival. So I'm curious as to your experiences, not only as Helix, but as Helix at that, just because I was there.
Oh my God, that was so great. I'll just say, I absolutely love festivals because I love, like, when pretty much in day-to-day life, you don't really meet people who kind of resonate on the same weird artistic level as you do. So when you go to like any festival, it's always so nice to like just be able to even just connect with like-minded people.
Right.
Like it's like refreshing. It's like taking a shower, like after, you know what I mean? Like after just sweating like crazy. Cause
right.
It's like, you're actually talking to people that are, you know, as passionate as you, as creative, as driven as you. And it's just so rare, like to find like people like that in life, like even just like the same sense of humor as you have. Like, I mean, I just love going to festivals. Well, probably first and foremost, just because I love seeing people that I don't get to see all the time.
Yeah.
And hang out and just talk and like just exchange thoughts. And the show itself was so cool. Like the sound people were really great.
Oh God, those ninjas.
So great. And you think that doesn't happen all the time. The sound was great. Ali, who ran the whole thing, it was like seamless.
Unreal.
He was great. The coolest part about it was they accommodated pretty much everything. So like we wanted to do a projector show. They were like, cool. And like sometimes they don't want to do that or there's some stuff. The whole thing was just great. The performance was first time ever we had a drummer, and I was really, really looking forward to seeing what that was like. So we had Matt Sharifi on drums, and then we had Tom, and then me, and it was just kind of fun to just like hear. Like I was like, let's just do this. Like let's just see what it's like. So it was kind of fun.
You hadn't done that like ever. Like ever. You're hearing it for that's like the scene in the Spy movie where the guy goes, "There's no time to test it," and the scientist guy is like, "It's a prototype."
Yeah, there was absolutely no time to test it. It was just fun because we were like, all right, let's try it. And I'm always like, oh, Tom, I want to get a drummer. I want to try it. And like when I was like 15, I used to be in like kind of like punk rocky type bands.
You got to do it.
And we always had a drummer.
Right.
A live drummer, obviously.
Wow.
And just like that energy that a drummer brings to the stage.
It's undeniable.
It's amazing.
Yeah, sorry, I'm hesitant because it's like I've been an electronic drums guy my whole life, but then when you see it, you're like, ah, yeah, that is fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's electronic, it's fine. I just feel like it's the movement, and also just like
interesting.
It brings a whole new level, like of like just to the performance. Like it just brings more energy to the stage. I mean, you are super energetic on stage. Anyone who's seen Brian, it's like incredible. Like, no, like Heidi always tells me you're working out. So I'm like, okay, so that's probably why he's like so
Well,
he's athletic already, but you're just like, damn, like you own it. You know what I mean?
well, what I don't have in vocal chops, I make up for in just physical flailing. But not only do you retain the ability to belt it out, but you've got your own stage moves quite down. The show was just awesome. Really, really loved Helix, and shout out to Mechanismus. I love the way you describe the festival experience. The initial sort of model for Space Couch here was I take you into the green room, and what you're saying right now is it's really kind of our only chance to communicate with coworkers in a weird way, because like what we do is so bizarre that like what am I gonna do, like just to talk to my boss at work, or it's like, yeah, when you crack open Cubase and you want to look at it, it's just not gonna. Or like when you're performing in a festival and you can only see the front row and a half, and look at
I always kind of like label us like the survivors, and the reason why I say that is because I'm pretty sure each and every one of us has someone who's been like, "You're still doing that? Like,
yeah,
that kind of childish? Like, haven't you given up on your like? That's a pipe dream, right?"
yeah.
And it's just like, no, like anybody who has endured those comments from friends, from family, is still putting it out there. I feel like we are just most of the time musicians are creatives, and we're sort of like maybe the black sheep or whatever, and I feel like it's just a bunch of us in one room, and it's like so cool to like be able to connect like on that level, like
Totally.
Always being like that kind of different person, at school or at work or
you
in
can
your family.
sense it across a room sometimes, like just in the mundane world, and now there's like a building full of that type of connection. It's incredible.
Yeah, and it's just nice, and everyone's really supportive, and like I feel really blessed, like honestly, to be surrounded by people in that, like going to those things. I feel really like it's just such a rewarding experience.
Totally.
On many different levels.
Does your work in Helix inform your work as Mary KATTMAN? Like, do you see like shifting or trading notions or sensibilities between those two projects?
Definitely. So in Helix, like Tom is the main songwriter. Now Helix started because Tom does Assemblage 23, and that's always got its own signature sound, and he's kind of kept it that way for years, decades even. So Helix was sort of like that, outlier to like Assemblage 23, like that. Well, I have other ideas and I don't know what to do with them, so let's just bring it into a new project. Let's kind of play around with genres. Like, let's kind of not have a genre really. Like, let's be like kind of like a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So Helix is sort of like that. Like Helix is like the the musical like imaginings of Tom outside of the realm of Assemblage 23's structure. So that's how that started, and also we just really connected a lot, and really felt that was a good like team relationship. Mary KATTMAN is like, the way I would describe it is if you watch like a child grow up and they crawl and they start to get up and they start to stand and they start to walk and then they start to friggin' take over. That's Mary KATTMAN. Mary KATTMAN, like, was a baby.
Oh, that's cool.
Like that's where I started. Like that's where I was able to grab the confidence to express myself on my own. Like, this is like a super personal project to me. It is all of my failings, all of my strengths, all of my everything. It is all of the things that I wish to tell the audience that I cannot do through any of these collaborations or projects. It is a struggle. It is also a triumph. It is everything about what it is to start something from zero and move your way through and grow. And that is what you'll hear in any of the solo tracks that I've written is just that process. That's what you're seeing.
Wow. What an amazing visceral metaphor to capture just the struggle of an ongoing musical product. Just and I say a product just out of terms of ease. I don't mean to commodify it like that, but just growing this thing and from crawling to running, and that line of progression is so visible, but you can feel it in a way. All that. Well, sorry, I'm just stunned a little bit. Where are we now? Like you've vacuum packed your heart into this album, going, here's the best thing I can do right now. Here, and then you give it to somebody for $8.99 or whatever, and just sort of hope you don't, shit on my heart. Like, what's that like to just sort of have that in the clip?
I've always worked with other people. It's been my success and my handicap. I've always looked, because I was too afraid to grab that by myself and say, own that. Like, I have the ability to compose. I have the ability to put together sounds. Like, I am intuitive that way. Like, I was really scared for a long time to own that. Like, that was something I was afraid to fail. So I just didn't try. And I feel like there's a lot of people facing that today. Like, maybe they've made something and they're afraid to show it off. Like, they're afraid to put it out there. But I feel like when you do something on your own, there's nobody else to say, like, if someone says that it sucks, you can't be like, one was Tom. That was Tom. He decided that. No, it's all me. Like, if it stinks and you don't like it, it's because I didn't do it right.
Amazing.
And that's like, I don't know if there's a right and wrong in music, but there's definitely I like it and I don't like it. And that's a really scary thing when you're a solo artist. Like, I'm doing it all by myself. Like, what you hear is all me, like all the drums, all the synths, all the everything. I don't have any help. And it's, I think for anyone, like, it's just a scary process where you have to just hit that enter, that send, but that day and that release button. And you know that that's going out to ears and criticism and all the wonderful and not wonderful feedback that it could possibly get.
Yeah, I mean, that's just sort of how art works in general, I guess. But like, I mean, meaning like, but I think even in music, and I'll go so far as to say industrial music, like, yo, here's a window into not my heart, but like the basement of my heart. You know what I mean? This is some potentially horrible shit, but it's presented in a dance package. Like, it's an interesting way to do it. Oh, what's up, my buddy Eric Christopher says, is it more catharsis that you're relieved from Unit Code Machine? Says, is it more catharsis and you're relieved that it's completed an album or a song, or is there more of an attachment to your work once you've completed it? Meaning, well, I'll let him explain it. Is it more catharsis and you're relieved that it's completed, like, here, I'm done with it, or do you still feel an attachment to the work once you've completed it? I think that's what he's asking.
That's a good question. So, like, do I listen to it and am I relieved to get it off my chest? I don't know. I'm all about kind of revisiting things right now at this point. Like, I do listen to my stuff. I listen to it because I want to get better. I think it's really important to, like, even though the songs are definitely serving a purpose emotionally, there's like sort of a production process and a mechanical process that I'm going through at this point, which is like, did I tweak that synth right? Did I pan it right? Did I find the best spot for it in the stereo field? Like, is it standing out? Is it too much? Like, how's the EQ? Like, things like that. Like, I'm listening back through these things sometimes, and I'm trying to decide, when I move forward, how I'm going to get better.
Oh,
it's about getting better. Point.
That's very strong. Yeah, thanks, Eric, for asking that question. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, so I'm just thinking like, it is crazy like, going out on a limb and putting stuff out yourself. Like there is a lot of emotional like satisfaction to it because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times you can sing or say whatever you want or be as aggressive as you want or as
Mm-hmm.
passive as you want. You can do whatever you want. Um but I guess it's just that sort of like that feeling like, okay, I'm like, this is really naked me. Like
Mm.
this is not like behind anyone, And I think um, I know that we probably will talk about it later, but like I have two live shows coming up that are solo shows. Um, and I'm looking forward to bringing that. Like, I have a lot of feelings for these songs. Like, I have a lot of, like, they're really, really personal to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that live show is going to be even more,
Awesome.
like, just
Well,
raw than real.
let's talk about that. Well, I want to say thanks to my buddy Eric for asking that because it's a reminder to me to go back and listen to old stuff because both you and I sort of churn and do a lot of product and guest vocals, and you just put the stuff out and put the stuff out, and then if I ever like accidentally go back and listen to something, I'd be like, oh, that was a dope thing that guy did just there. I should do that. Oh wait, that was me. Like but I had too much fun getting existential at woo woo and the woo woo at the top of the show. We have some very exciting specifics that I've let slide for too long. Let's get into that because it came up earlier. Let's get into the shows you have coming up.
Yeah, so I'm doing two shows with Assemblage 23,
Woo!
which is cool because I do feel like my material will fit really well with that. So I'm looking forward to playing to an audience that maybe hasn't heard my solo material before.
Mm.
And it, might be there for a similar style as Tom. I am really looking forward to that. So yeah, like we have one coming up at dusk in
Providence.
I know. I'm like, this is my hometown. Well, not really. Like, I'm from Mass, but I lived in Rhode Island for so long that it kind of feels a little bit like my hometown.
Awesome.
I've actually played at dusk before with Tom, like years ago, maybe 7 years ago. I don't know if anyone in the audience went to that show, but it'll be nice to be back. I really love that venue. Everybody's nice. The sound guys
That's
really,
great.
sound people are nice. But yeah, so we got that, and that one is on September 30th.
Awesome.
And then we have one at QXT's in New Jersey on October 1st.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Shout out to
excited.
QXT's and Dusk. Big fan of both of those venues. So, September 30th, you want to be in Providence. I fucked it up. When was it?
October 1st.
October 1.
Yes, QXT's, and you're going to both. So you have to start in Providence, and yes, everyone is.
Yeah, everyone's got to do it. It's fine. Like, you can afford it.
It's so fine. Like, just do it.
Just do it. Like, it's awesome. Like, we will check that out for some Mary KATTMAN material. But I teased at the top of the show, we have some amazing guest vocals and so forth to get to. Let's get into that. So, drop some science on us. Here we go. Announcement time.
Oh, cool. Okay, so I got like so much stuff coming up, and I told Brian, I was like, since you were the one who had me on, I wanted this to be on Brian's first.
Aww.
So, yeah, like I got some really cool stuff coming up. I did a collaboration with Mesh. Yeah.
Mesh.
So, oh yeah, I'm so happy about it too because it came out so great, and I'm excited. We're finally getting that's gonna come out on their next album. I'm really, really excited. Mark is just so nice talking. So he's just like the nicest guy, and I'm so grateful to know him, and he's such a cool person to work with. Kind of foreign with. And so I had a lot of fun doing that. And then I have some Black Car Burning collaborations coming out on Mark's side project there, Black Car Burning. So that's going to be cool. That one will come out on COP.
Shout out to Christian.
Yeah.
And Mark, who I've never met, but what a vote of confidence to do guest vocals for not only Mesh, but his side project. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was really grateful. Like, honestly, like, I love working. The one thing that really was amazing about doing collaborations with people when I first started, and then through till now, is like I've worked with a lot of people that I used to listen to their music all the time, and have a lot of respect for them, and gaining that respect from your peers enough for them to ask for your work on their
That's
stuff.
awesome.
I mean, how much? I mean, it can't get much better than that.
It's
I
the
mean,
best.
that's a really, knowing that you worked really hard all these years and that you have people that you really respect a lot asking for your work. It's amazing. So I'm super grateful to be able to work with Mark.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
yeah, super nice. And yeah, so, and I'm also, there's another thing I'm doing too. I'm actually on a solitary experiment. Uh,
Solitary experiments. Wow,
yeah.
that's a lot of range from mesh to solitary experiments. But tell us about the solitary experiments thing.
Yeah, like, so it's really cool. So I got the okay to talk about it.
Nice.
So it's going to be a 9 song. It's basically a reimagining of Solitary Experiments songs, but
What?
with a female vocals.
Oh,
So
cool.
there's a female vocalist from Germany, one from Russia, one from France, and me.
Hell yeah.
And so we were given song. Well, I guess it happened for me this way. Was he asked if I would do something on it, and I said okay, of course. And so I picked a song. So the one I ended up doing was Achromatic. So if anyone knows what that song is, that's the one I did. And it's coming out on their label, and it's going to be physically available as a box set, and then it's going to be digitally available later on. So, yes.
Awesome.
So check in with Solitary Experiments if you want to hear it. I'm not sure what the drop date is, but it's soon.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be so cool. Like it's the same music but reimagined. Like the music, I believe they did like a not reinterpretation of the music. It's still the same, but I think they kind of like upped it. Like
yeah, that sounds amazing.
You know what I mean? How you would do it, like you just kind of make it sound, and then so yeah, it's really beautiful, and I'm really excited for that.
Well, they went from solitary to collaborative experiments. Let's say.
Yeah, right. It's not really solitary anymore.
We will check out. We're getting so far away from solitary because we're going to check out guest appearances on Black Car Burning on Cop, the amazing solitary experience, and a band insanely sort of prominent in my world line, Mesh. When next you talk to them, say that there's a skinny weirdo in Boston that's a big fan. Let's do this just because I made a graphic for it. This is we'll get into. I'll just do it. We're gonna break protocol and touch the spacebar controller. Hypothetical spectacle. Okay. I had asked Tom when he was on what sort of animal he had envisioned Assemblage 23 as, and he described it as a sad walrus. And then I don't know, that's just always sort of stuck with me. If you could sort of channel the Gestalt, our favorite word here on Mary Katman, and sort of describe that in zoological terms, what animal do you think that project is most accurately aligned with?
Honestly, and I mean, I was thinking about this a lot.
Oh no!
Feeling this question would come up, but I'm gonna tell you what I think that Mary Kevin is, and it's like you're like, yeah, I think it's an alien.
Okay, no, that's amazing. Go on.
I think it's an alien. I don't think that it's not like an animal that exists here.
Okay.
Because it's like, I never felt like I fit, and I still don't, like at all. Like I don't feel like I fit. Maybe I do somewhere in some way. I fit somewhere, but I don't know if like Mary Kevin would live on this planet.
Oh, that's awesome. Like some especially if it was like an alien version of like a space dog or something, or it's like
an alien cat.
Yeah, it's like it's not a cat. Like I can see how it's vaguely cat-esque, but it is not from around here, man. That is an amazing answer. I love it.
I don't feel like Mary Katman, like it has it. I don't know. I don't know. If someone could say like, "What is Mary Catman?" Even musically, I'd be like, "I don't know. What do you think?"
Perfect. No, that's a great answer. Um, you know, all the big mesh announcement and solitary experiments and so forth. That's like fine. That's like a pretty good announcement. But like, I think what we should really take away from this show is the bombshell, the earth shattering, world altering, cataclysmic news that Mary Catman is actually a space cat. Actually, a space cat. For real, scientifically certified feline from the cosmos. You can have that, song title or whatever if you want.
That's what we're gonna do. That's our collab.
Okay, Cosmos Cat, something like that. We'll figure it out. It's Thundercats, but like in space. Now I'm spitballing. Let's save that for the future collaboration. We are so far out in space that time and space are colliding on a curve, and we are running out of both. But I'm just because I think when you and I get talking, sort of the curvature of gravity alters, and we just like wake up 3 hours later going, "What the fuck?" Just I want to go real quick because I was just so like floored by your wedding pictures from Iceland. I was just like, what? Speaking of alien, I was like, what planet did they go to for that proposal? Can you tell us about that story real quick?
Oh my God, you won't even know. Like, so Tom,
no, I don't.
We decided, we were engaged and we wanted to get married, obviously. And I was like, why don't we just do where did you we've always wanted to go to Iceland. We used to talk about it all the time. And I was like, let's just do it. Let's just go.
Awesome.
Like we literally, and I mean this, like we found a photographer who does wedding photography there. And thank God we did, and they were wonderful. But the whole process took a long time, like wiring money over, like getting we were like in Iceland trying to get our marriage certificate while we were there. We weren't even sure that we would get. Yeah, like it was so crazy because everything had to like happen in the way that their time thing goes. Like we had to arrive there and then we had to wait. We had to be there to get the marriage certificate. So everything was kind of like, is this going to work? But it worked.
Wow.
Iceland is amazing. If you've never been to Iceland.
We played it. Yeah.
Go. It's so cool. It's expensive. Like the food's super expensive. There's a lot of import.
It ain't cheap, but
tax and it's pretty expensive. But when you drive out of Reykjavik, which is like the city where most people reside, even just like an hour or two out, it is like National Geographic, the wilderness. There is no one around. It is wild. There are like sheep. So there's no predators in Iceland. So there's like sheep everywhere.
Wow.
Like there are sheep and horses and just wild. They're all wild. And it's just like, there are waterfalls like legitimately everywhere.
That's
It is so freaking cool. The experience was almost like, because we were so tired, like we were like, that feels like fever dream. Like it was.
It's true. Like I did it on tour, so it's like not like I could structure a vacation around it. And it was this like out of a movie. Like it's kind of dark the whole time, at least when I was there, and it's so hazy and dreamy. And the next day, or like when you get back, you're like, did that happen? That was the craziest.
It was crazy. Like we were married by this like hidden waterfall.
What?
Yeah, it was like
magical.
Like the photographer knew about it. I am telling you, this waterfall was so powerful that when you were near it, like it was shaking the ground. Like the water was coming down from so far up that like when you were by it, like you could feel the rumbling underneath your feet. Like it was so magical. It felt like getting like married in like Lord of the Rings or something.
Okay.
Like, so cool.
We are on a rogue flight path here on this flying couch. I'm going to bring it back into the station. But I sort of want to summarize this episode in a sentence if I can, because this might be the dopest episode of all time. Here on episode 147. No, I don't, because I cannot say the following sentence to just anybody. What we learned here is that extra-dimensional feline being Mary KATTMAN got married by a secret waterfall that shook the earth, and will be doing guest vocals for Mesh Solitary Experiments shortly after she does her own album coming out soon on COP, with the thing following an EP she just did, to say nothing of Helix, to whom she got married by Narnia.
You forgot to throw in the collaboration with Gothicals of some sort.
Fuck, maybe that's coming up. That's next year's episode. No, that's 100% gonna happen, because that excites me greatly. that prospect. I'm running out of space gas here on my couch, so we're gonna fuel up. But I have been remiss in my duties thus far because I haven't tossed out any URLs. Where should we go to pick up? Is it really that bad?
Oh, it's on Bandcamp right now. Awesome. I didn't do a physical copy of that one. I just feel like I think digital would suffice.
Is that marykattman.bandcamp.com?
Yes, it is marykattman.bandcamp. Yes.
Spelled like you'd spell it on the street. If you're listening on the podcast, that is MARICATTMAN, 2 T's, 1 N, no Y's, for Mary KATTMAN. But you will be the wiser for picking it up. It has decidedly passed the Brian Graupner gym test. So I will tell you that is it really that bad? Thank you to Unit Code Machine for just posting the link. My coworker, Unit Code Machine. That's the best. But we have to talk about green rooms today. We didn't get to talk a lot. I do want to get your thoughts on industrial parenting, because let's just do that real quick. Like, maybe it's not a quick answer, but like, you do so much, and you raise a kid. Like, how do you make it happen?
I feel like as a parent, and especially as a female raising a female, I find that it's very important to set a good example for your children, if you have any. Don't lose your individuality to your parenthood. Like, don't assume. I think a lot of people want to
lose your individuality to your parenthood. That sounds important to me.
It's important. It's important to not lose the things that make you an individual. Because I'm mom all the time, but when I get up on stage, I'm Mary, and that's truly an essence of who I am, right, and who I've been, for my entire life. And I think it's important, and setting that example for my daughter, that women can go out and do many things. Like, we can be mothers, we can be creatives, we can be working a job, we can be doing it all. And I think I love that. I want my daughter thinks I'm famous, which is wonderful.
She ain't wrong.
I'm not gonna tell her otherwise. She's like, my mom sings on the stage, and it's just
that's amazing.
Yeah, she loves it. So I just think, if you're a parent and you're also a musician, if you're a woman, don't feel that pressure to be like, well, you can go bury me in a minivan now, and now I have no relevance. You do. You still have value, you still have creativity, and you still are an individual, even if you're a mom or a dad.
Okay. We'll leave that there. I'm not a parent, so I find this fascinating, and it's a big question, and thank you for giving that answer right at the end of the show. I'm sorry to just sort of lob this potentially giant thing and be like, solve human existence right here in the waiting minutes of Space Couch. That was a great answer. Thank you for at least touching on that. If you want to know more, I guess if you, the listener, you'll have to wait, because we are going to end this episode. But thank you for that. MaryCatman.bandcamp.com. Cop International. You want to check out those other releases on their other labels, although I know for a fact Black Car Burning is on Cop because they did a wonderful compilation with Tiger Squawk. Check that out. Why am I plugging my own stuff?
No,
I just Christian who runs Cop International. I didn't have a lot of experience with besides being a giant fan of Deathline International, his band, like giant fan. So then we're like talking on the phone to release this compilation. I'm just like, this is the weirdest fucking conversations I've ever had. And then he was at Mechanismus and was just amazing. So shout out to Cop.
He's the best. Christian, you are awesome. I'm so grateful that we work together, and you're just lovely. I really love his personality, and
not only is
he got to see me perform as well, and I was like, oh my goodness.
That's amazing. Well, I mean, not only is he a nice guy, but he's got amazing ear for acts because Mary Catman out now on Cop with Fever Shakes coming out in like 10 seconds. So keep your eyes glued to your screen, not only for Future Space Couch, but for that as well. Closing thoughts, not an assignment, just an opportunity. Otherwise, we're gonna close around out.
I just want to say thank you for having me. I think you're wonderful. I think you always tell me that I do everything, and you have been trying to best me by doing more than me, and I don't get.
You know, you're right. Like this whole New England Brotherhood artist act that I've been falsely putting out is you called me. No, I am trying to take you down personally. Like no one's going to outwork me. So, thank you for finally bringing it out. Like I will destroy you. I can't even say it with a straight face. Ah, God. No, it's been the best. Well, like we were talking before about the show, like, or maybe on air, I can't even tell what aired. That it's like food to me to just watch my friends crush it so hard. It's nourishing. So just keep it up, Mary. I can't say enough about you.
And you as well. I can't wait to see what you do. I think you're wonderful. I think you're amazing.
Okay. We will end this episode of Space Couch on a note of cosmic love. Thank you to not only our guests but all you out there who I can see and who hear the sound of my voice later on the podcast. Thank you to the sponsor of the show. We'll cut to advertising one more time. I'm not going to burp into the mic again. Brian for Space Couch, for Mary Catman, for Mary Catman, Helix, Black Car Burning, Mesh, Solitary Experiments, saying call the spaceships to Davenport, prepare for divanarchy, and interface with a couch in space Couch. I let us talk over the ending credits here, but no, that was amazing. Yeah, I'll definitely have to get wild with like guest vocals, prospects for like guests or something like that. Really cool.
Oh my god, I would love that.
Yeah.
Not even hesitate. Let's just do it. Write me.
Yeah, I got about one more animal song in me that's coming out for like this EP for the Gospels, and then it's like done. But I think Jerboa, like if you know Jerboa, there's this cool little desert rat, but that'll be it, and then we'll see.
I love that name. That's just like a fun name.
That's a good one. But I don't know. Oh, so many possibilities for our track. Okay, I gotta get. Oh my gosh, we're playing Madison, Wisconsin in 6 days, and I'm a bit behind. So I'm gonna put that show together. Thank you so.
Are you going to be Crucible?
No, we're doing Crucible's amazing. It's like really good.
I love them.
We're playing the Terrace, which like I went to school at Madison, and I don't know if they know that. So like that was like a big thing. Like if you're playing actually at the university, and you're like a headliner, they put you out on the Terrace, and it's really nice with like the lake and stuff like that. We've only ever played outside 3 or 4 times. Like I don't know if you have an experience with playing outside, but It
No,
is
I
a
never.
little bit
How is
weird.
the like? It doesn't. The sound is weird though, right? Because it kind of just goes like
It
forever.
just goes out, and you're like, I hope somebody's hearing this in the
Yeah,
way in which
that's
it's
what I thought.
intended. But it's a you're leaving a lot to literally the elements